Okay, the Owain Theory is delayed until my collab partner can actually record, because apparently there is construction going on near his home and there is a very, very noisy crane. So, what is one to do? So I thought I might as well do this thing that I had in my head for a while now, and that is going over some characters from Ties of Fate, more specifically their character creation process. Now, if you listened all the way through to the end of the last Q&A, you know that I have always said that Ties of Fate has had 4 phases. 3 of them being mostly the same, kind of. So I thought today I would go over the character Jade and her history to look as the way she is now. Now, the Jade that we know right now is a princess from the kingdom of Oceania, which is not far away from Harmony, but their kingdom is under the sea. She is a siren, which I think I just said, and sirens can breathe underwater. It's one of the perks of being a siren, along with singing capabilities and other musical abilities. Jade is mostly associated with a harp, but if we go all the way back to the beginning, her beginnings were, well, we're about to see how obsessed I was with Jax. Now, in the first phase, most of it was really just insert stories, insert characters. And Jade, for the most part, I'm pretty sure you can guess where that name came from. Yes, Jade is in fact short for Jaden. Yuki. I thought I was clever back then, okay? I was, what, 11? So yeah, Jade Yuki. Jade freaking Yuki. Sister to Jade and Yuki. They both went to Dual Academy at the same time. Jaden is still Osiris Red. Jade got into Raw Yellow. Which means, yes, Jade, ever since the beginning of this concept, she was always the smart one, always the brainiac, I guess you can say. And yes, even back then, she run a water deck. The water theme is consistent. And this is mostly because when I hear the name Jade, I don't think of green, I don't think of a green gem, I don't think of any color green. All I think of is water. Jade equals water in my mind, and that will be a weird concept that you will see throughout these little character creation things. She was the sister of Jaden, and then later down the line, or maybe in the same phase, I can't remember, it was when I was 11, so literally 11 years ago, Lindsay was made and was sisters with Jade. In phase 2, she more so went from being a long-haired Jaden copy to a long-haired Jaden copy with her hair up, and more emphasis on the water theme. I'm sure there are pictures, some very bad pictures that are bad pictures that I drew, and bad recolors, if you even call them that. Remember, this was back in the age of YouTube where everybody loved recolors. I sometimes do it, but that's just me editing stuff together, like with the Diamond speed paint. I was like, I wonder if I can make goddamn Bunny Boy look like Diamond, and I kind of succeeded. I was just having fun with it. Every now and again, I still do that, but not to the extent as I once did, and probably a lot better. But yeah, she kind of just remained this water duelist kind of thing. And then she didn't really have that much relevance to the plot. She pretty much was just the standard, Brainiac. Kind of along the lines of Daichi Misawa, except more useful, I guess. She just had a lot more insight to a lot of things. And of course, there is always the alter ego that she has. At least it's not like alter ego, but more like along the lines of being reborn from a different life, which is something I suppose is what developed from both Sailor Moon and Season 3 of GX, because we know Judai had a completely different life before being reborn. And I took that into consideration, and then the water theme stuck again, so yes. And then we entered the third phase, which this phase was much more of a reboot. In the case of this takes place So it's probably the next school year after the crew has graduated. So you'd still see Rei, you still see Kenzan, because they were Rei was the first year and Kenzan was the second year, so it would be Kenzan's third year and Rei's second year, and they would still be relevant to the plot. And in this case, Jade got a complete makeover. Both no, actually, I was about to say Lindsay, both her and Lindsay got a complete makeover, but Lindsay was basically the same design. Jade, on the other hand, got a complete makeover with how she looked on Earth and how she looked on Jaral, and that is a little bit more closer to how she looks now, her Jaralian form at least. Her Earth form was completely different. She lost the combo of the orange and brown hair to just having brown hair, and I made it wavy, and she also sports pink eyes. She still has a bracelet around her arm, like around her wrist, like you see nowadays, but it has the water drop on both sides of this bracelet, which obviously now it's not water droplets anymore, it's now ribbons, but the little raindrop, water drop, whatever you want to call it, is still on her neck currently. But she still remains raw yellow. I gave her the female version of the Obelisk blue uniform, obviously in yellow, because I think by this point they're not gonna cram every single girl into the Obelisk blue dorm. I think maybe they'd kind of, give everybody their own spaces, maybe. Or, Jade just kind of made a point, stood her ground, and she became a raw yellow. Point said and done. But she's still smart. That's all I can do. There's more of an emphasis of her reading books and stuff like that. She also came off as more mysterious in this reboot phase 3, I suppose is what I call it. It's phase 3, I think. And she does remember her time on Jaral, if you need to know. Yes, it's another reincarnation story. Reincarnation is a thing. It is a thing, and I kept it. And then we come to where that didn't work as well as the story didn't go as well as I thought. It was getting somewhere. There was 2 episodes written out, but then it kind of got complicated, and it's just like, I feel like we should just separate these 2 stories, which is where phase 4 comes in, and this is the final phase for Jade's 2 little situations. So Jade ended up being separated into 2 people. Jade, that we know now in Tides of Fate, but she also has a counterpart that still lives in the GX universe, and that is Jitsuko. Jitsuko was made for the fanfiction story Life of the Shrine Maiden, which is somewhere on fanfiction.net, I think. She's there. She still has the, bookworm personality. She has light brown hair, purple eyes, and her hair is in pigtails, but she resides... No, first off, she starts in raw yellow, but then she moves up to Obelisk blue the second year, I think, which we haven't gotten to in that story, because I wrote that story during high school, and my final year of high school, my senior year of high school, and I was really, really sick of school. So I decided to put my creativeness to the absolute test and try to write a story around these characters that I have created for years. And when this story takes place, it takes place during season 4, because I still think season 4 is the weakest of the 4 seasons we got of GX, and I thought I could try to make something else happen besides just a whole Truman and Darkness thing, because I think it is a couple more months than we think it is until they graduate, that is. So I thought I'd have these characters, but I still wanted a character that's like Jade but isn't Jade. So Jitsuko was created, and she also sports some glasses, because I thought there weren't enough characters with glasses in it. We really only have Sho, Banner. I can't remember his Japanese name, but we have Sho, we have Banner. I think that's pretty much it of people that we have wear glasses. So Jade became her own character in Ties of Fate, but there are still remnants of the old Jade in Life of the Shrine Maiden as Jitsuko. And I thought this would be interesting as a video topic because there's a couple of people that asked me about the story of Ties of Fate in all of its phases, but I thought it'd be more interesting to start with the how this character came to life, blah 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 blah. And I thought it'd be interesting because I do have a backlog of a bunch of photos and pictures and drawings, and I thought it'd be interesting to have this to be filler while I work on the Owain episode. But I thought it'd really be interesting for those that wanted to know what the creative process is and how I come to these conclusions that I do in my own theories for Fire Emblem. I don't remember if I did say this or not, but in the third phase where Jade got a complete makeover and had the brown hair and pink eyes, both she and Lindsay were also cousins to Judah Yuki. So the Yuki connection is still there, but they're cousins, like distant cousins. Not like relative cousins, like really close cousins. They're distant cousins. They actually came from a city outside of Domino City, so they took the train into Domino City to go to the exam that's in the very first written episode, if I recall. Also, the current design of Jade is based off of this monster card right here. More than so, the hair color and her lipstick is more than likely based off of this card, if I recall, and this was supposed to be Jade's ace card in her water deck. I don't necessarily remember what other cards were in her deck, but I remember for sure that this is one of the main monsters in her deck. And I, for one, I will say from now, and I will say this, I'm not the best at building decks. I make random as hell decks because I don't like sticking to the meta. I don't like sticking to what the most popular deck is. I just kind of go with the flow. I get decks and I just make them. Which is what I'm doing with Duel Links right now. I do random decks. I've recently made a fairy deck that is supported by spellcasters, and I'm currently using Crystal Beast also with the support of some plant monsters, most specifically Aromage, I think it's Aroma Mage, those deck, and also Jerry Beans Man, because I can't leave out Jerry Beans Man. We know how important that card is to Johan, so I thought I'd put that in there. But either way, I do make random as hell decks, and I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's kind of a thing that happened now, but that is the most I can tell about Jade. Now, besides design-wise, personality-wise, she does stay the same. A lot of her musical aspects come from the fact of Michiru from Sailor Moon. Her water theme also kind of comes from both Michiru, Sailor Neptune, and Ami, Sailor Mercury, because I really liked Sailor Moon as a child, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the universe. I still kind of do, but I like the aspect of Magical Girl, and then Madoka happened, and it got really dark. Yeah, Madoka got really dark, and I kind of got the darkness from Madoka Magica. Also got the darkness from GX Season 3 because that was the most fucked up season ever, and I also got it from Danganronpa, which is why I kinda killed a lot of characters. Well, really, there's only like 2 deaths in Ties of Fate right now. There's gonna probably be more, but I just thought this would be a nice little video, so I'm gonna leave it at that. If you want me to look at other characters, there is a list right here on the screen of characters that are in Ties of Fate, and also other characters that aren't in Ties of Fate but used to be involved in other phases of Ties of Fate. So comment below which character you want me to do a background on next, a history of, and I will get back to you on that. And hopefully that pesky crane is gone soon. So, bye bye!